There is something that I've got a lot of notes that I keep meaning to circle back on, but one thing that we're doing in thinking about this community project is partly the community, encountering people that we want to be with all the time. And it's harder in the cities, I find. And one of my worries is if I'm on this farm and, 20, 30 minutes outside of the nearest town, um, then will I have as access to such a strong community or social life with opportunities as I would in a city? Maybe you could speak to like what the community is like on your
Yeah,
farm.
it's a great question because here, like I said, we have 25 people here that earn their salaries here from the farm. It's a pretty tight knit community. Not all of them live right here on the farm, but it's a pretty tight community. We spend a lot of time with each other. In fact, in the summer, we do have 25 people who actually live on the farm in the summertime. And we have a farm chef in the summer that comes during our stewardship program that cooks our evening meal for us May through September so that we can all 25 of us eat communally every day together. It's a wonderful thing. Of course, we have lots of guests and different things. So yeah, it is a tight knit community. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. I think that what you're trying to do, you're not creating a cloister. There's the big difference between creating a community of resiliency versus a um,
A
a,
hideout.
a cloistered abbey, if you will,
Right.
okay, a monastery. And I'm not disparaging a monastery. I'm just saying that the whole goal here is not to cloister and kind of circle the wagons and be in our own little cave. The whole goal here is to have something that is so stable and secure and strong uh, that that it can thrive in a time of dysfunction to create so that when the greater society feels hopeless and helpless, we can offer hope and help as a lighthouse, as a safe haven. And so our whole goal here on building our farm community here is not about looking inward. It's all about how do we build so much stability and structure that we can minister outward. And so as you think of, and so if I could be so bold, I will say that that attitudinally, as we move into, because listen, you can't imagine how many people I've had this conversation with in the last 2 years that are, I mean, this summer was a steady stream of RVs through our farm of refugees from the city. A lot of them were California, New York, and they'd sold their place. They bought this RV. We're on a 3-month tour to find our place.
Wow.
And I mean, it was a steady stream of them all summer long. And of course, they read my stuff. They've heard of me, so they want to come here on their way. And what I find is, and in dealing with people now, I'm doing a lot of consulting for people who have bought land now and they don't want to make a mistake, and so they hire me to come in and do a day or two of consulting, set up their roads, their ponds, their fences, where we're going to put stuff and kind of design their labor and their all, kind of create the thing for them. And what I find is that the ones who are making this change out of fear and fleeing are not as successful as the ones who are making the change out of faith and proaction. In other words, the difference between reaction and proaction. And so if you're making this change because you're fearful of things, and I don't want to make it sound like fear is a bad. I mean, there are good things to be fearful of. All right, I mean, it's good to be fearful of the grizzly bear, when he comes and attacks you. That's a good thing. But in general, we want to override our fear with faith that rather than running away from something, we're running to something. And you know, I don't think I'm mincing words here. I think that attitudinally, look, it's kind of like can I say the word COVID on this podcast?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like COVID. You know, the single biggest way to destroy to suppress our immune system is to be fearful. When you're fearful, your immune system is at a lowest place when you're fearful. Okay. The way to elevate your immune system is to be in faith, to think, and I'm not being completely spiritual here. I'm just saying faith. Yes, we can punch through this. Okay, we can live through this. That's faith as well. You know, faith that this chair will hold me. Right. I don't come into the auditorium and check every chair to see if it'll hold me. By faith, I figured somebody made the chair so that it would hold me. Okay, and so it's not necessarily a spiritual thing. The fact is that we do have faith, and so one of the best ways that you can not get COVID is to just say, you know what? I don't care. What if I do get it? It's fine. I'm gonna punch through it. I'm gonna be fine. I'm not gonna be one of those long haulers. I'm not gonna be one of those that's bedridden. I'll have a sniffles for a couple of days and we'll go right on. And actually having that conversation with yourself in your head. I'm not going to live in fear. I'm going to live in faith. Yeah. So what if I get it? I'm just going to have some sniffles for a day and punch through it on the other side. That attitude adjustment in and of itself is like 90% of your immune factor. Mm-hmm. And so here we are in this cultural jitters and dysfunction and concern, and people are frustrated, they're angry, they're fearful. And so I'm suggesting that you take, I understand, I get fearful and depressed and angry too, but take that the best you can, have a conversation with yourself and say, look, okay, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, and I'm fearful. All right, I recognize that. Now, what am I going to do about that? What I'm going to do about that is I'm going to take all of that emotional energy and I'm going to channel it into building a parallel universe. And I'm going to surround my people, myself with can-do people, positive people, capable people, honest people, authentic people. And we're going to build an alternative universe that is resilient and secure and stable and a great place to raise my kids and my, my legacy. And the people that can take their fear, frustration, and anger and channel it to that positive construction mode instead of the destruction mode, those are the people that will succeed in this. And I saw this, you're not as old as I am, but I saw this during all the crisis of Y2K. You probably remember Y2K, but you weren't maybe an adult at Y2, or I don't know how old you are. Maybe you're 60 and you just look 20, but anyway, at Y2K, I saw this. I actually was involved, peripherally with a couple of groups that, fled to the hills. We're all going to be in the, caveman status. And those groups, I mean, they didn't last a month. They didn't last because their whole reason for existence was fear. And so I applaud anybody that wants to, kind of create this community, neighbor, village, you call it whatever you want to. But I always encourage you, come at it with the right motives and the right attitude, the right spirit, or it will fly apart, because fear does not build things. Faith builds things.
Wow. Super powerful reminder. And I appreciate that.
I feel like you're getting a nice consultation, a nice community consultation session here.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And hopefully this helps a lot of people, because if everyone's thinking like I'm thinking, then
yeah. Well,
Yes.
I think you're thinking, I think the way you're thinking is just ubiquitous now in the culture. A lot of people are, they're stymied by it. They talk about it, but they don't know how to put feet to it. And so for you to actually kind of be being developing a relational game plan is certainly a step ahead of most people. So I applaud you for it and congratulate. And nobody wishes you greater success than I do. I think it's fantastic. And I'm looking for enclaves, these enclaves of functionality. I just want to see them all over the place, because that's what's gonna create the the patterns of educational, agricultural, spiritual, glue that holds things together. When if and when the Huns come and sack Rome.